Ooh, that scared me. I don't know why. I knew it was coming too.
You told me to clap.
Yeah, it just still made me kind of like surprised. Well, that doesn't.
Ah! Wait, Thane, be careful. He's scared of Santa Claus.
Ho, ho, ho.
Thane, what's funny is yesterday or 2 days ago, Cole walked out and he's like, "Hey, do you want to watch me put socks on?" And he puts on yellow socks, and my socks were pink, and I went yellow, pink, or maybe it's vice versa.
I didn't get the reference.
Oh, really?
No.
Oh, yeah, it was SpongeBob. Remember? Because Patrick's like,
Yeah, now I know.
These are white when I bought them.
Yeah, because he peed in them.
Yeah.
It was like I peed on my socks to make them yellow. Welcome everybody to this episode of the Talking Rad podcast. Woo woo! Episode 158. Let's go. We got a show for you tonight. But before we get into our show, we wanted to plug our Patreon, like the sellouts.
The sellouts we are.
I feel like shells. Yeah. The shills.
The shills.
The shills.
No, a shill's like somebody that like they get paid to lie, I think, or it's something in that.
No. Shill is like paid to like promote something shamelessly. Like, you guys really tried this mobile game? You should really try this mobile game.
Well, we are promoting this shamelessly. It's beginning of the month, and we just added a new tier, a $1 tier to our Patreon. So if you like us and you want to just, throw us a bone, we'd appreciate it. You also get access to pretty much everything on our Patreon, except for the exclusive episodes of the podcast, the monthly extra episodes that we do for the Patreon. That's still on the $5 tier, as well as some other things that we've talked about. We haven't really said much on the Patreon itself, but
we could probably do that soon. Maybe we could do that within the Patreon episode itself. But essentially, it's kind of like a mini producer tier where you guys can be directly involved with what we're working or we're making, or at least up to date on it anyway. I don't think we're at the point right now where we could handle having other people directly influence the content, I guess.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense. It'd be fun to get to that point to where maybe an episode once a month or every couple months, you guys could decide what you would want to see a video on. Obviously, we take suggestions all the time, but we like to make videos that we like to make.
Exactly. But yeah, that's our Patreon. Like I said at the beginning of the month, it'd be great if you guys would throw us a bone. We'd appreciate it. Yeah. If not, enjoy our content for free. We appreciate you guys even just watching, to be honest.
For real.
But thank you guys. But now, back to your regularly scheduled stupidity of us just literally shooting the breeze.
So I've got something that I want to shoot right now.
Uh-oh. Is it the tripod? Because it's making me want to shoot it, I tell you what. I think it's on a ball because that's how I got it to straighten out. But I didn't even realize how effing freaking crooked that thing is. It's literally sitting like this, and then the camera's just straight up and down like that. I'm like, whatever.
Well, the tripod does make me want to shoot myself. But
No. Yikes, guy.
What?
You want to shoot the tripod?
Oh, I want to shoot the tripod.
Gosh,
yeah, not myself.
Guy.
Okay.
Sorry. Okay.
Yeah.
So
ready to rephrase it.
The reason I bring this up is because there's a dead one right underneath me.
Uh-oh.
But why the freak do spiders crawl to some spot that's kind of out in the middle, and then they just curl up and give up on life? There's literally one. There's one right below me. So they just walk and then they give up the ghost and just curl up.
You
and
think
die.
they would have be against the wall and stuff more? They are typically, but you're right. Sometimes they're just in some random places and they die. Well, maybe it's because you just never know when death will take you. You could be walking down a hallway at Walmart, an aisle, and then just dead.
Yeah.
Well, what's the lifespan of a spider?
Sometimes you see mice or rats just die in the middle of the floor right there. Remember that dead kitten you found when you were house sitting?
Yeah.
It just happens.
I think that thing choked on something.
Yeah.
I don't know, but it was stiff as a board when I got there. And then I had to peel it off of the ground. It was disgusting.
Yum. It's like jerky.
Anyways, yeah. Anyways, yeah.
Well, let me give you some news.
So I remember playing this Harry Potter game.
Wait, pause. We're going to talk about spiders still. You got the
spider's lifespan can vary as much as the spider life cycle. Most spiders live about 2 years, but some have been known to live up to 20 years.
Okay, that's terrible. I didn't want to hear that. Why'd you look that up? Never mind. Let's go. What? Is there one on us?
No, it's not there one.
We dying?
He's got spiders on the brain.
You got a spider on the brain.
Spider over there too. It's building a new web.
Is it dead?
Do you see it?
No.
He's still back. He cannot build his house on our shelf.
We need like some spray. I think
We
I
have
see it
some.
spray.
There's some over there.
All right, I'll get some after the show, and I'll just.
I'm all nervous now. I
We
got my
need to
feet
just-
up on the table.
Me too. We need to just spray
I
the
think it was
baseboards
just like.
in here.
Hold on.
We're the ones with slippers. Things
Okay, it was
freaking
just-
barefoot.
It was just the little thing on my. I thought there was a spider.
I love it.
Sometimes though, seriously, like during the summer when earwigs are invading, sometimes an earwig will just crawl on my foot, and I feel something on my foot go. And I'll like
Try having
like
that in
the
your
freaking-
bed. Wait, you should know. Your bed's on the ground. You should get some bugs occasionally in your bed.
probably, I don't know.
Have you not I've literally woken up to spiders crawling on my leg.
Yeah, no.
You guys need to get bed frames.
Probably.
I'll teach you another thing too about bed frames, and this is why I don't think I'll ever go back to not having one. I could put stuff underneath the bed. Storage space.
Yeah, let the spiders hide more.
That's
Yeah.
okay. They can hide in my stuff, just don't hide on me.
I don't think they're hiding on you. They're just traveling.
Okay, well I don't want them to travel.
They're
on me.
migrating.
They can hide in my things that I have under my bed that I'm not going to talk about. There are things under my bed that the spiders can hide in. In other news,
So today I went to Taco Bell. After I got done with Walmart, it's typically like 2:30 every time I get done at Walmart. And so I always hit up the happy hour, get it myself a freezy. And I have like exact change typically, and so I just get it all ready. It's $1.08 in our state. Thank goodness it's not that expensive, but shout out to taxes. So I'm getting ready to pay, and they're just all like, "This one's on us," and they just handed it to me. I'm just like, "Oh, okay," and here's your receipt. Did you get another spider?
It's right there. It's just right there.
you see it?
It's right there.
Kill
I see it right there.
Just kill it. Just get something to kill it.
There's not
Wait.
really anything to kill it with.
There's a rag.
Oh, don't use the rag. We use that rag.
Here. Just crush him with that.
Good luck.
He runs back in.
Okay, well,
got a little web.
just sit and wait for keep that, and you can just wait and pounce on him. Okay, so they gave you the receipt.
Yeah, so they gave me the receipt, and they said, "Yeah, just fill out our survey. It'd be really great if you did." And I was just like, "You know what? I probably will." In my head, I didn't say this out loud. That's kind of dumb to say it out loud to them. Anyway, I'm just like, "Yeah, I'll fill it out," because they were nice. They gave it to me for free for some reason, and I get home to fill it out, and it says use the numbers on your receipt. And I was just like, wait a second, this isn't my receipt. And so I didn't fill it out.
It was beautiful.
Sorry, but I got a free one, so that was cool, I guess. Yeah, I don't know what to do. Because what happened was I picked it up the receipt. It went in this is the order of operations to make it so I'm not a lunatic. So I pick up the receipt and go, wait, this isn't my receipt. This doesn't have my freezy on it. So I crumpled up and threw it in the garbage can. And then it was literally an hour or two later where I just had the little note that said, the little note thingy they give you that says fill out our survey. I'm like, oh yeah, let's fill it out. I pick it up and I go to the website and it says, look on your receipt for the thing. I'm just like, it's too late. I'm sorry.
It's in the
I didn't mean it.
garbage.
I was going to give them a good review too, because I was literally thinking in the back of my head, I'm just like, Taco Bell's not screwed us over for the past month or so. That's pretty good.
They've done
let's
good.
give a good review.
They've done good.
But they didn't get a review because I didn't get my actual receipt. I feel bad about that.
It is what it is.
Thank you, Taco Bell. Oh, they also told me I'm not supposed to tell anybody.
Whoops.
They said that was one of the stipulations. They didn't say I have to fill out the thing. They just said one condition: you can't tell anybody. And it's just like, okay,
Was it a high school kid?
Yeah, I don't know, something like that.
Did they look young?
Kind of young, but 2:00. They're in school still.
Maybe,
School's
unless
in
they have
session
school to
now.
work.
For Taco Bell, you're gonna get school to work to Taco Bell.
There's people that do that.
Well, okay then.
I knew some kids in high school that did school to work to Smith's.
Yeah, but that's
It's a
That's
place
not
to
just
work.
it's not just some fast food restaurant though.
Don't you dare belittle people that work in fast
I'm not trying to belittle it.
Zane.
I'm just
You
saying
can belittle me all you want. It sucks.
I'm just saying, like, school to work is like you're going there to like learn something and like skills and stuff. Like you can, I feel like out of like a grocery market, you can learn like skills you would use at other jobs. At fast food, you're literally only learning skills you're gonna use at other fast food restaurants.
I feel like communication's a big one. Learning to just communicate.
I guess. And to pile more onto my point with that, every time we go to a fast food restaurant, they'll reference and say, yeah, somebody that worked at Wendy's or used to work at Wendy's works here now. And it's just like, if people just like hop different fast food places? And so
I think it's because
they'll
just hire.
They know the lingo of the fast food, so
Yeah.
they go to that other fast food. And
Yeah.
And so I guess if like that's what you want to do in school, I mean, I'm not saying you can't do it. I'm really denting a fine line over here. Like, I'm not trying to belittle it at all. I'm just saying, like, if you're doing school to work, you either just trying to get out of school, which is probably why they'd go to fast food for it, or you're actually trying to learn something for a potential future career.
I'm not going to argue any of it because I don't freaking know. I just, like I said, I knew people that did school to work at a grocery store. My sister did school to work with my dad, but just never went. She literally just didn't go to school and got credit for it.
That's lame.
Yeah, my dad's just like, you can't do construction.
Why'd your dad let her do school to work then?
Because he doesn't give an F.
He should.
He doesn't.
He should.
He doesn't.
Yeah, I don't think I got it.
I don't think there's any way you got that. I don't think Michael Jordan could have got that.
You're like a wet
sock. There's a piece of paper. Do you want to kill him with a piece of paper?
Here, I got an idea. So it crawls out. I'll get a wet paper filled with like soap, so that when I hit it, it'll suffocate. Because the soap will. I don't know if it works like that, but.
The other day I told you to use like a wet paper towel, right?
Yeah.
That's because I've seen people take wet paper towels and they throw it on a spider on the wall and it sticks to the wall, and so they can't escape. I don't think they suffocate. I think they just smash it in there as well.
So it dies.
Well,
I don't know where the soap came from. That's a new spin on it.
Here's the thing. So the soap, like when you throw soap on a bee or something, it suffocates them. Like.
Oh really?
Yeah. Because apparently, like it's. Like
they can't blow bubbles good enough to get out.
It closes in the pores.
Oh, weird.
I'm gonna look this up.
Does soap kill bees?
I've seen it. They've done it before.
Bees.
There's like, I remember I was at my, like an in-law's house, and he said, "Oh, hey, watch this," and they threw soapy water right on a bee, and it just went and died.
One of the top comments or questions frequently asked is, "Does soap kill sperm?"
What? No. I remember a Harry Potter game. There were giant enemy spiders because it's a fantasy setting, you know. And every time you cast a spell on them to kill them, they just like shrivel up and die. And it's like, ugh.
It's like they spent all of the money on that one part of the game was to animate the spider's death.
Yeah, it's not very good.
So I can confirm what Thane is saying. Soap can kill bees and other insects because it is a surfactant, a substance that essentially makes water wetter.
Water wetter?
That's funny sounding.
That's what Google told me.
I was going to say something else, but I don't remember what it was. So what else you guys got? Entertain me.
I've got an update on, because you guys roasted me about it, and I'm also going to put it in the video, is I got Pac-Man. And I went on quite the adventure to get it.
Oh, yeah, we did roast you on that, didn't we?
So, I had my whole weekend planned out. I was talking to Cole Thursday night. This is last week. A week before you guys are hearing this. But I was like, yeah, I'm going to play Pac-Man all weekend until I beat it. And I'm not going to do anything else. So, Friday I wake up. And I went to the gym in the morning. And then I went to Walmart right after. And there was no Pac-Man there. I was really sad, so I went home. I'm just like, dang, I don't know why Pac-Man's not in there. It came out today, and Walmart, of all places, should have Pac-Man. They didn't even have the little display tag showing where Pac-Man would be. And I was like, frick. So after lunch, before I had to go to work, I went to GameStop. No Pac-Man. I went to our local retro game store, which knowing full well they probably wouldn't have it because it's a brand new game. They didn't.
They usually sometimes have new games, but
And then
it's usually later.
I went to Best Buy. Best Buy didn't have it. I even asked one of the guys there. I said, "Hey, do you have this new Pac-Man game in stock?" Because he was stocking a whole bunch of new games. He's like, "Nah, we don't have that one in stock, but I can order it for you." I'm just like, "No offense, dude, but if I'm gonna order this game, it's not gonna be from you."
Wow, you crushed his hopes and dreams with that comment toward him.
I just said that in my head though, because I don't like confrontation.
You said it out loud to him.
No, just
and
in my
cried?
head. Just in my
you
head.
Watched him cry.
And he's just like, "Okay, whatever, dude." So I left. And then while I was sitting at work, I was just really sad and kind of flustered all the whole day at work. And I was just like, "Dang, I really want to play Pac-Man. What do I do now?" Well, I checked the website, and I checked Walmart.com, and it said, "Yeah, we should have this in stock. It should be in stock. We have 2 Walmarts. It's at both Walmarts." So I was like, "Okay." Well, I went back to the same Walmart that I went to this morning, and I walked over to the game cabinet. And lo and behold, there was Pac-Man.
So they stocked it later.
Yeah, I asked the guy, I was like, "Dude, I came here this morning and Pac-Man wasn't out." And he's like, "Yeah, I got here at 5 p.m. and it still wasn't out, so you're welcome." And I'm just like, "Yeah, thanks."
Oh, so he did his job,
Yeah,
basically.
he did his job. Well, because he bought one too. He's like, "Yeah, I bought it and played it on break for a little bit." And I'm just like, "Cool."
Oh, he's a Pacnut.
Yeah. He's got Pac-Man fever.
That's a lot better than what I said. You can interpret what I said so different. I mean, Pac-Man's got some kids, right?
He does.
And some Mama Pac.
Mrs. Pac?
Yeah.
Pac
Well,
Mama.
it's called
Pac-Mom.
Pac-Mom because of lawsuits.
Yeah, so the legal rights to Miss Pac-Man is apparently
Isn't
weird.
it owned by like At Games or something?
Yeah.
So Bandai Namco owns the trademark and the copyright to Miss Pac-Man, but At Games owns the royalty right for it, something like that.
Oh, that makes
Really
sense.
messed up. I looked into it, and it had something to do with the fact that Miss Pac-Man was like not a mod. It was a separate game made by, I think, MIT students is what it was.
Yeah.
Essentially a mod.
So yeah, they licensed Miss Pac-Man, but they were getting royalties for it essentially.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a big effing mess. But essentially what happened is Bandai Namco was going to buy the rights from Mrs. Pac-Man, the royalty rights from a separate company, and then At Games swooped in and bought it out from under them. And apparently At Games has a really bad track record of being dicks and doing really shady stuff.
At Games is really bad.
Yeah, like
So who's suing who?
Bandai Namco's suing At Games.
Yeah, they should because they own the intellectual property.
Yeah. It's a mess. I read a little bit of it and it was just really confusing.
That's why Miss Pac-Man is in the original
but
Pac-Man
it's
World game, but it's
Pac-Mom.
now Pac-Mom because
So-
they can't make any money off of her right now.
So, can I spoil the plot of this Pac-Man game?
I mean, it's been out for like 40
I'm
years.
gonna spoil it, okay.
That's not
Here
true.
we
It's been
go.
out for 22 years.
So, Pac-Man one day decided to give his...
He can't even say it.
Because I was gonna say Miss Pac-Man, but then I was like, no, it'd be funny if I say Pac-Mom. But then I thought in my head, I'm like, that's so much worse.
We could call it his Pac wife.
His Pac. There we go. It's a little better. Pac-Man one day decided to give his Pac wife one of his Pacnuts, and they made some little Pac kids, and then the ghost stole them. And then Pac-Man has to go save him.
He's gotta go save his.
I can't tell. Pac-Mom. I was gonna say his Pac-Mom. Okay.
Now that game would be set in Alabama if you said that.
Okay, but for real though, I watched Sky play the opening of this game, and like for the first like 2 minutes of the game, I could have swore that Pac-Man was the bad guy. It's like the ghosts are having this happy life on this island. They're all like so happy that they're away from Pac-Man, and then one of them's like, oh, Pac-Man's here. We gotta hide. We gotta run. And it shows like Pac-Man crawling up onto the island or something like that. And he's like, well, yeah. What do you think? We stole his wife and kids. And it shows up. I'm just like, oh, okay. The ghosts are still the bad guy. It's okay. It's okay. Pac-Man's not just the douche going to their island to kill them all.
It's really weird though, because the main ghost builds this Pac-Man robot because he just wants some respect, and everyone gives Pac-Man respect, but the ghosts don't like Pac-Man, so I was really confused. It's just really bad story writing, although there's no story there. It's just like, you'd think the ghosts would hate Pac-Man, but Pac-Man shows up at the very end of the game to fight the robot Pac-Man, and all the ghosts are like, hell yeah, it's Pac-Man, and it's like, wait,
they kill you.
Yeah,
he kills you.
Yeah, he eats you, but you guys also hate him, but now you're like, it's really bad. Yeah, it's a child game.
Yeah, like, I won't lie, though. I was literally just like, are they like doing like a meta commentary about Pac-Man being the bad guy eating all the ghosts? Oh, no. They're not. They stole his wife and kids. That's why. That makes sense.
And what's funny, at the very end of the game, there's 2 endings. I didn't know this. But, well, I found out. I think I was telling you, because after you beat the game, you can look at all the cutscenes, and there's the alternate ending.
Is it a bad ending? Pac wife gets Pac dead?
No. Well, if you don't save everybody, I think the alternate ending is Pac-Man. So,
it's Pac-aside?
If you get the good ending, Pac-Man, like, shakes the ghost's hand at the end. He's like, it's okay, bro, because the ghost is like, I just wanted people to like me, and people really like Pac-Man. And so Pac-Man's like, it's all right, I forgive you for stealing my entire family, kidnapping them.
So was he going to go into the Pac robot and have his own Pac babies by doing ghost Pacnutz into the Pac mom?
I don't know. I don't know why they had to steal. I don't know why they kidnapped the family, because, like, he was already Pac-Man robot, and he just wanted some respect.
It's like, and I want his kids.
And I want his kid. I just want his life.
Let's effing take his life, baby. And it's just like identity theft in the game.
So they give a bro handshake at the end of the good ending, and then it just ends. Well, the bad ending, and this is also how the original game ended, was the ghost is like, yeah, I just wanted some respect, and I wanted people to like me like they like you. And Pac-Man pulls out a power pellet, and he smiles. He eats the power pellet, and then he eats the ghost. It's over.
Wow.
That's the good ending. That's the good ending.
That is the good ending. And he just eats him, and I'm just like, way to go, Pac-Man. Way to freaking go.
Is that the one you got?
No, I got the good ending.
The one where he's all friends?
Yeah, where he's just bros. What's funny, though, is I think a lot of people wanted the bro ending. I don't know if the original game had an alternate ending, but even Nitrorad, who's like the platformer dude, was very shocked by Pac-Man eating the ghost at the very end. He's
That's
like,
hilarious.
Yeah, he's like, yo, I thought he was just going to be homies with him and, like, forgive him and stuff. But in my head, I'm like, nah, dude, that guy stole his his wife and
kidnapped
kids.
his kids.
And his dog. And
the Pac dog.
And he took the Dig Dug thing, the red Dig Dug guy.
Little tomato.
Yeah,
I remember his name. What's his name?
What?
The tomato guy from Dig Dug?
The red thing.
He's got like goggles. He's a tomato.
I don't know. I know
He's
what
like,
you're talking about, but I don't know.
Yeah. He kidnapped him, too.
And he flies to the walls.
Like that.
Bum ba-dum ba-da-da-dum. Bum ba-dum bum ba-ba-ba-da-ba-bum ba-da-da-bum ba-dum ba-da-da-bum.
Yeah.
The Dig Dug song is really, really bad if you're trying to just sing it like I was. But when you're hearing it, it slaps so effing hard. It slaps harder than Will Smith.
Boo, old joke.
Yeah, I give the game like...
Dude, that game, the Dig Dug game, like, was a awakening for some people for inflation porn.
Okay.
I would give Pac-Man World Repack, I give it about a 7. It's an alright game. It's fun. For $30, there's a lot of content
That's only
there.
$30?
Yeah.
That's not bad. I was thinking it was like 40 or 50.
Nah, bro. If it was full price, I don't think I could justify
I'll
buying
wait till the
it.
Pac-Man World 2 remake.
I'm going to wait for the Pac
Sun
I don't know.
Summer Festival.
I don't like Pac-Man. I like the arcade game. That's it.
Yeah, it's a fun platformer, and I think that Namco hit it out of the park with the original as far as making that the first 3D Pac-Man game. They did really good, and they sold a lot of copies. And I think that was a really good stamp to because the whole reason they did it was for the 20th anniversary of Pac-Man.
Wait, 20th right now?
No.
Back then.
Back 20 years ago when it first released.
I was going to say, yeah, this should be like the 40th.
42nd.
42nd.
But anyway, yeah, it's a fun game, and for $30, man, I don't think you can beat that. It's a remake. It's on a Switch, or I mean, you can get it on other consoles. I tried to get it on the Xbox, but my impatientness, I couldn't wait. Like, if you play it on the Xbox or any of the other consoles, it's 60 frames, but on the Switch, it's only 30. So yeah, Pac-Man Repack, it's fun.
Is it on the Xbox right now?
Yeah.
Oh.
I wanted it physically, and I would have had to have ordered it and then get it shipped because Walmart for some reason wasn't going to stock it. I don't know why. It wasn't on their website anyway.
Weird.
And I think it's just a day one thing. Like, if you wait a couple months, I'm sure you'll be able to walk into any retail store and be able to buy this game on probably all the consoles. But
that's interesting, and you have quite the story with it. But now that little story, just that feeling you had, that's like a little bit of what have I felt when Xenoblade 3 came out.
Oh, I mean, I'm right there with you.
You understand.
Except yours is way more intensified because, sure, I think the Pac-Man's fun, but I don't care about it as much as you care about Xenoblade.
True. And mine was like a light switch. Like, you had like all this extra hope, like maybe it'll be here, maybe it'll be here. Mine was like a,
Dang.
oh, I want to die.
Yeah. And I guess another thing too, though, and I do want to, I've already talked to you guys about it, and I guess people listening will get to hear about it too. I want to make a video talking about the excitement of getting a brand new game day one and why I never do it, or I do it very rarely because of the exact circumstance that just happened to me. But we've already talked about it, pre-ordering and stuff, so we're not going to get into it. But anyway, yeah, it's fun. I like buying new games. It's way more fun buying a new game when all the homies get it and you get to play alongside of them. So I think the next one that we're all probably going to get, and this will be my first time doing this, is the Pokemon games, which is that October or November?
November.
That'll be fun. I'm excited for that.
Scarlet and Violet. Are you going to get it too, Thane?
Probably not.
Hopefully Jordan has a Switch by then, because it'll be us two, Sandman. I bet I can talk David into getting it. I mean, he got the remakes of...
Yeah, he got the
Pacman
bad
World.
game. That's unfortunate. And then he didn't get the good game after that.
The Arceus.
He didn't get Arceus, no. Yeah, unfortunate. Thane, what's your favorite pack?
What?
What's your favorite pack?
Did you
Pack
play
an
any...
AK-47
Thane-
into my...
Finish?
No, I'm not going to finish.
Did you play any of the Pac-Man World games?
I played Pac-Man World 2 back like when I rented it when Hollywood Video existed.
See, that was the one that I played. We played it
I
at
played
Jordan's.
that. I played that at Cade's house.
He had
Pac-Man World 2 on the PlayStation 2.
Yeah, that was a fun one. I think that one's probably my favorite out of
probably
the two.
the most
Anyway.
Packing? It's packing
yeah,
the
it
most.
was probably the most popular game. I saw that everywhere. Saw ads for it. Nobody cared about Pac-Man World 3 probably because it was
They made a third one?
Yeah.
it was a PS2 exclusive, I think.
What about the one with like the weird Pac eyes? The weird Pac-Man eyes? For the Wii U?
Pac-Man Extremer. I don't know. They
I
made
know what
like
you're
a they
talking
like
about.
it was like Sonic Boom where they made a Saturday morning cartoon with it.
If we're going to be honest, that was the most sexualized Pac-Man's ever been.
I gotta look him up. Yeah,
And
because
then
there
they
was
had
a Pac-Man TV
And I was
show.
into it.
They also had they had a Pac girl with like braids and glasses.
I'm not into her.
Oh.
She's scary.
It's called Pac-Man and the Ghostly Adventures.
He's got those doomy eyes.
Yeah. What?
Yeah,
That's the memes that they do with like
it kind of looks like
where
he's
like he shows up, he's like Pac-Man, more like pack an AK-47
Oh,
into my lunchbox.
There's
and
Pac-Man Party on the Wii.
Look at those eyes, though, Sky.
Yeah,
It's
I know.
the eyes. They're doing it for me.
He looks sad. He looks like he might be getting pounded from the back. He looks like he's in pain.
Well, you don't look at the box art. You got to look at like just like normal renders of the pack.
They made a part 2?
Oh yeah, they made a 2-parter.
I guess I'm gonna have to get those.
You don't have to get those. They're
Yeah.
not good.
I want to get them.
This man likes to
It's
torture
like
himself.
Sonic. It's the Sonic boom of Pac-Man.
It really is. They came out like literally the same
Yeah.
time too, so it's very
Gosh.
fitting.
That is
Maybe
an
not-
abomination. That was like a cursed image of Pac-Man.
Maybe not.
Those eyes are doing it for me though.
Maybe not as
Half
bad.
eyes.
Is it? I wouldn't say it's as bad as Sonic Boom.
Look, he's got freaking
but-
teeth, man. Sometimes it's okay to have
see.
cartoon
Oh,
characters.
that one.
It's okay to have cartoon characters not have teeth.
I think Pac-Man's got some nice sensual teeth. I bet he'd be a delicate lover.
See, like this is Pac-Man without teeth. That looks fine. Why do we gotta give Pac-Man teeth?
You
'Cause,
gotta nibble on something.
I'm glad they still went with the classic look when they brought him to Smash.
Yeah, they did a good job with him in Smash. See, look how much better that looks. That's just like that's
Doesn't he
Pac-Man.
do the thing where he like goes, blah 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 blah, and he goes, "Broop"?
In Smash.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but he does it in the Pac-Man world too.
Not the one I played.
I
'cause-
swear he did.
Oh, maybe in number 2.
No, yours.
No,
I literally
no.
saw him do it once.
He doesn't shoot it out. You have to press a button and then they appear and then you can gobble on them.
Maybe he doesn't ever shoot it out. Maybe they just attributed it to him shooting it out.
in
as
Smash.
what he's doing, yeah, in Smash is what he's doing in Pac World.
Maybe he does it in Pac-Man World too.
You know, now I'm thinking about it, it's not really Pac World. It's the Ghost's Island. It's not his land. It's not the Pac-Man World.
Yeah, it's the Ghost Island.
Yeah. What the F?
They suck because
He's
he
a
literally
terrorist.
he goes in there and there's a lot of theories that Pac-Man's the bad guy.
There's your title, Pac-Man the terrorist. I don't know if you can actually say that, but
Is Pac-Man the bad guy?
yeah.
I
it's
mean,
Pac-Man.
if you just say Pac and then another word after, there's probably a
The
Pac-Man
Pack of
video
Us
game made
Part
about
2.
it. Or you can say a word and then Pac right after it, and there's probably a Pac-Man video game about it.
There is a
Guitar Pac.
Yeah,
There's
there's
one
probably that or Pac-Man guitar. There's probably a game out
there's
there.
one I can't
Pac
say
Hero.
because it's a racial slur.
Dude, I looked through the list of Pac-Man games, and it
Pac-Man
is
no
just,
Tatsujin.
it is astronomically huge. The Pac-Man games, there's so many. They milk the teats. Pac-Man's teats are raw.
I want to play Pac-Man no Tatsujin.
There's a
Okay.
there's
The drum is just Pac-Man. You're banging on him.
He's just Pac-Man.
there's one Pac-Man clone where it's literally just Pac-Man, but it's called Oh Shit, and when he dies, he goes Oh Shit.
Pac-Man says that?
Yeah.
What a
it's
naughty
naughty.
Packer. Packy.
No. That's the racial slur you just said.
Oh, it's a that
It's a-
thing?
It's a racial slur to Pakistani people.
Oh, shoot. I am sorry. I did not know.
Yeah, that's why I said I
Maybe
couldn't say
bleep
that
out
one.
if you remember, Sky.
I could have
32
also
minutes
said
if you want to even bother.
yeah.
Do you want me to?
I didn't
No.
mean it in a bad way. I was just saying. I
Well,
was
we
trying to
could
come up
leave
with
it out
funny
to
nickna-
educate people. Yes, that's a bad word.
I was just trying to think of like funny nicknames for Pac-Man.
Bohemian Rhapsody at the very beginning, it's like they call him that. He's like, I'm not that.
Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just trying to come up with like funny nicknames for my new lover, but
Oops.
I kind
Kind of stepped on a landmine.
My God.
That is not. That is no. That was a figure of speech.
It was something.
I guess we're going down together.
Holy crap.
Um,
Wowza.
Well, real quick before we get off of the
Uh.
topic of Pac-Man, you know Lemonheads?
Yeah.
Whenever I got a Lemonhead as a kid, I
You
always
think
just
that was Pac-Man?
I just thought Pac-Man. And even now, I'll see a Lemonhead and I'm like, Pac-Man.
So
because it's yellow.
If you took a bite out of Pac-Man, do you think it would taste lemony?
I think so. I think that's
I don't
probably
think you
my
would taste
brain just
lemony.
attributed to that. It's like Pac-Man
Tastes like cyanide.
and happiness.
It tastes like something happy with the last part. Wink, wink. Oh, I butchered that joke. I'm sorry, guys. I could have done that one so much better. I didn't think about it enough.
Mommy spilled all her pills on the floor. I'm Pac-Man.
Oh, no. Oh, shoot.
What a twist!
Oh, boy. Well, in other news... I am currently 75 hours deep into Xenoblade. Skylar
I'm
got addicted
15.
to a new game,
Yeah, Cole got me hooked on Xenoblade 1, and I'm 15 hours in, and it's felt like nothing. Like, I sat down. I played for like 5 straight hours on Saturday, and time was just a concept.
Well, I mean, it is, but yeah, I know what you mean.
I sat down in my chair, and I'm like, wow, this is fun. And then I'm like, wow, I'm kind of hungry. It's only been like, 10 minutes, right? 5 hours later.
It's a fun game.
Wow.
If you know how to play, I can tell I would have hated this game so much if you didn't teach me how to play.
I always feel weirdly condescending when I'm trying to teach you a little bit how to play. I try not to be, but but sometimes I feel like I'm just bursting your room. All right, let me teach you the new mechanic of the game.
But there was no tutorial on how to use Melia.
No, not at all. Nobody freaking knew how to use Melia when they first started.
So when you played, did you just watch a bunch of tutorials?
Yeah.
Wow.
I was like, man, Melia looks like she'd be fun to play. I don't know what the freak I'm doing with her. And then I looked up on the internet. I found out how to play.
Why can't game designers just learn, hey, here's how you play the game? And if they can't write enough text because memory is like, hey, go to this website.
Or they have tutorials.
Yeah.
To be fair, Xenoblade 3 has done a lot better of a job of that. They don't tell you like the super intricate details of the combat, but for the most part, you learn pretty well what the combat is.
Yeah,
save for chain attacks. I don't think the tutorials are great for chain attacks. I might have to look at them again, but I don't think they're great.
It's like, just give tutorials enough. Like, oh, it does this, and you can do this, and people can figure out the rest. Like, just give them enough.
I wonder.
And also make descriptions heavy enough on items where it says, "Oh, it's gonna do this if you equipped it."
I wonder if it's just because we're starting to get to a day with games that tutorials aren't as necessary or emphasized. I guess most people can pick up a game and be like, "Okay, yeah, this is this." Most games aren't super sophisticated when it comes to things like fighting. I mean, even your classic JRPGs, if somebody picks up Pokemon, they go, oh, I see, my water type was strong against fire. Makes sense. I pour water on a fire, it definitely goes out, I wonder if that's why the tutorials have been so much more lessened over the years.
Yeah, I think we have lots of references too, like you're saying with fighting games. I know everybody memes on it when reviewers compare games to other games, but that's how you learn how to play games too, though, is you can reference games to other games. And I guess with JRPGs, some things translate over, but something like Xenoblade, I don't think I've played a game like Xenoblade, honestly.
You haven't, I don't think, but the closest thing to it is World of Warcraft or MOBAs.
The only game,
MMO kind of style.
The game I played that probably needed a better tutorial, but they don't give it anyway because it's the nature of the game, is Dark Souls. Now, Elden Ring, they give a ton of tutorials. They just give you one screen of text. It says this is what it does.
Huh.
But Dark Souls 1, 2, and 3, and Bloodborne, you're kind of left in the dark on a lot of stuff. It's I don't know what this does.
So here's my thoughts, and maybe this is just a thought experiment we can go down, because I don't think this translates to every single video game franchise out there. But the Dark Souls games specifically, I think that you benefit as a player playing through the first one first before you do any of the others. Because
actually, I think Demon's Souls is way easier.
Well, I've never played
the
Demon's
remake
Souls.
At least.
Yeah, I've never played Demon's Souls, so I guess I'm just going off of my knowledge of it anyway. But you're right, Thane. Dark Souls doesn't give you a tutorial, but the way that they lay out the whole beginning section,
the tutorial they do give you is signs, and then you read the signs. It's this is what all the buttons do.
Yeah, but I guess with that one, so specifically Dark Souls, you learn within the first 5 minutes of gameplay. You're like, wow, I'm getting dunked on by, you walk in, you go into that corridor, right, or that big open area, there's a big monster, and it dunks on you. You probably die 4 or 5 times. You're like, this isn't working. I have a broken sword. This guy's killing me. You go in, you see the light. There's a light that's blatantly obvious. Yeah. And so you go into that light. The game is teaching you at this specific moment, hey, if what you're doing isn't working out, go somewhere else. Try to do something different. Yeah. Go look for more places to go to. So that's kind of, I guess, just a basic idea of the tutorial. And you are right. They don't blatantly say this, which is kind of cool. There's other games that do that, like the original Mario Bros. Game, I think, is one of the best tutorials. But some games I do think need tutorials, and they need better ones. Obviously, something like Xenoblade even with the tutorials they give me, like, I still have a hard time playing the freaking game. Not now, because I have my human tutorial, but even something basic like Pokemon. When I first started playing Pokemon, I was not having fun because I didn't really know how to play. I mean, I got the rock, paper, scissors gist of it, but, like, I only knew that for fire, water, and grass. There's, like, 15 other Pokemon types and whatnot. But I guess the point is do you guys think, or I guess, because I've heard a lot of different YouTubers and stuff talk about, like, with Xenoblade specifically, because a lot of people were like, well, can I just jump into the third one and be fine and just play this one and not the others? And there's a YouTuber I watch all the time where he makes jokes about it. He's like, "Oh no, you need to watch Ghostbusters 3 and then you can play Xenoblade 3." So his whole opinion on games and game sequels is just, if you want to play it, play it. Like, who effing cares?
Yeah.
You'll figure it out.
The only games I think that you can, like, probably should play the original is it has, like, a very heavy story, but the game is short enough you can go into it. Like Halo, like, if you're just in for the multiplayer, then nobody cares.
Halo 3 was my first Halo.
Yeah.
I'd seen bits and pieces of 1, but not really any of 2, but then I jumped into 3, basically, and started the campaign.
Yeah, and you could probably piece the story together,
Yeah.
or the important parts anyway.
That said, it's almost like a innate human nature thing to do things in order, typically. If you see
That's why I played through all the God of Wars.
big ol' number 4 on something, you're not going to jump to that typically. You'll go 1, 2, then 3, then 4. I think it's just
usually
natural.
if it says a number, I usually do research. It's like, oh, can I play this one? Like, say you see Earth Defense Force 5. It's like, well, I want to play it. Do I need to play the other ones? And no, you don't.
Can you guys think of a game that you just jumped into that was like a sequel that you've never played the original, you only played the sequel?
There's probably several. I just need to think. Like, I bought EDF 5. Like I said, I haven't played it. I think that'd be a good game for friends to play with. But Team Fortress 2, probably a lot of people played.
I
Yeah,
can't
but
think that. Well, that's like
Team
a
Fortress 2 is
multiplayer.
multiplayer,
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to say that one.
I mean, I guess one that I am going to for sure play and skip the first 2 is The Witcher. I'm going to play The Witcher 3 sometime.
Yeah, that's honestly probably the number 1 game
Yeah.
people would say if they were asked that question. I never played
It
that
literally
game,
just
so I don't know.
like, because like when you buy the game first, it literally just like there's a little pamphlet that summarizes what happens in Witcher 1 and 2.
I just
Yeah.
thought of one, but in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't matter. Persona 5 for me technically is a 5th entry to a series, although none of the prior entries have any influence on the story whatsoever.
Yeah,
Final Fantasy
probably
se-
the one.
Final
I
Fantasy's
played
the
Final
same.
Fantasy 7. I played some 6. They're all the same. They're all they're all
own
like
story.
their own story.
Self-contained, yeah.
Well, I guess mine then, I actually played Dark Souls 2 first, even though I was telling you guys to play the first one. I borrowed Thane's copy of Dark Souls 2 and beat that one, and then went back and played the first
Actually,
one.
you could skip Dark Souls 2. I'm just kidding. You can do whatever you want.
You honestly though, like games like Dark Souls, I think it would benefit the player not from a story perspective, but just from gameplay perspective to play the first one first. Obviously, you don't have to. Like, I think all of the games do a good enough job of teaching you how to play. Elden Ring being the very best one, but
I honestly think Elden Ring, if you jump into it though, you'll probably have a more easier time. The game isn't as brutally difficult as the other ones because it literally you have so many places to go, and you just can kind of just slowly piece the game together. Like, oh, this is how the game works. All right.
yeah. I guess another one for me is Pac-Man World 2. I played that one first, but like, it's a platformer. It doesn't really matter. There's not a cohesive story, because if that were the case, I never played the first Mario Bros. First. Pretty sure I played like Super Mario World first, or Mario 64 first.
Because I'm just thinking, like, because we started this with the Xenoblade talk.
Yeah.
Xenoblade 3, technically, yeah, you don't need to play the other ones to understand what's going on. It's very much so self-contained, but you do get a lot of stuff out of the game that you would have normally have if you didn't play the other 2. And I'm assuming that's probably just how most games are. Like, the only other like story one I could really think of would be like Last of Us 2.
Mm-hmm.
You could theoretically jump into Last of Us 2 without knowing anything about the first game, but the story beats won't hit as hard as they do.
Yeah, you wouldn't care.
You wouldn't care. if you never played the first one. And then to go into something even more simple like Uncharted and stuff, I don't think you'd want to play through Uncharted 3 and then jump back to 1 and then 2, because the story obviously be very jumbled up, but like I'm sure there's callbacks. I've never played through all the way of 2.
Yeah, there is.
There's definitely callbacks?
Yes.
Okay.
In fact, Nate and Sully's relationship is benefit if you played through the first 2, and it's like you know who these guys are already.
Is it like implied that you should be playing through those, or does it like take the approach of it doesn't matter?
It's kind of implied. They're really like, I think they wrote it like the player assumed
you've already played. Okay. So I guess there's one, but like, would it really matter? Probably not in the grand scheme of things, but you definitely would be missing out on stuff. So that's probably like the underlying thing when it comes to games in general anyway.
Yeah.
Where you can just jump around and, do whatever you want to do. If you want to do it, then it doesn't really matter. You might miss out on some stuff, but it's not the end of the world.
See, and that's kind of where I'm at. Like, I mean, I definitely agree with you when you say that if you see a big old 4, you're not going to want to play that one first, which is like what I do. Like, I'm definitely so much, or more so, the average human that wants to do things in order, especially when it comes to video games, because I think I do have that fear of missing out on something.
FOMO.
Or just like you're saying, it makes the game more sweeter. Even just you telling me about all the things in Xenoblade 3, you're like, this is from Xenoblade 2 and this one's from Xenoblade 1, and you're like telling me things about it. I'm like, wow, like this was way more, it would be way more enjoyable and I guess rewarding, if that's the correct term, for a player that's played through the other 2 games to play the third one too, because there's probably like callbacks and things specifically made for the fans where you're like, wow, that's really, really cool. But I guess why I bring it up is because this YouTuber, now I guess where I stand on this is like, I would recommend playing the first, like the predecessors in game series and probably in TV shows and movies for that matter, but you don't have to. It's not like someone's holding a gun to your head and say play the other ones first, because this guy brought up the fact that the Xenoblade 3 community, they're like really jerking off Xenoblade 3 and they want it to sell more than 2, but they're also like discouraging new players to play the third one, and they want them to go back and play the first one. They're almost like gatekeeping.
Really?
Yeah.
I wouldn't even know, because I've been basically shut out of those communities for the past month and a half at this point.
Yes. Well, and I'm getting all this information from another podcast.
I wouldn't put it past them. Like,
yeah.
I definitely see that being the case.
Yeah. And so these 2 guys that do this podcast together, one of them, well, they both kind of agree as far as Xenoblade 3 is concerned. One guy that's played the first 2, he's like, yeah, you could jump into the third one and be just fine. Like, literally, I've played the first 2 games, and I had to go back and watch a whole bunch of lore videos to have the story explained to me. And the other guy, he's on the extreme apathetic side of this, where he's the one that memes on it. He's like, no, you need to go watch Ghostbusters 3 before you play Xenoblade. Like,
I bet
stupid stuff.
I bet part of where that comes from, I bet they don't innately are, like, meaning to be gatekeeping. I bet they're being like, man, I'm having this great experience with this thing. If I want to recommend somebody to have the same experience, they need to do this stuff first.
Yeah, it'd be more
I bet
enhanced.
that's where it's coming from.
And it probably is.
That's kind of how I want to do it. It's like, wow, Xenoblade 3 looks cool, but I really need to play the first one.
Yeah. And I guess to wrap up the where I was going with this guy specifically, he's also the same guy who he went to a party, never saw Breaking Bad, never saw a single episode, and then he went to this party where it was a watch along for the finale. Literally watched the last episode of Breaking Bad, and he's like, well, I mean, I get the gist of it, but it's like, Breaking Bad's one of the greatest shows ever made. And it's like, if you just watch the end, you have no attachment to any of the characters. You don't really have any context when it comes to anything as far as the show goes. Sure, I mean, do whatever you want. I don't personally care, but I guess that is the bottom line, is playing things in order enhances the next one's experience. Hopefully, it's supposed to. There have been some really poopy sequels out there, though.
Definitely. Just like in some of Skylar's videos that you can watch on our channel. Did you like that shameless plug?
Yeah, that was good.
That was for the video people, not the audio listeners. They don't get that one.
Yeah. I just thought it was an interesting thought experiment. And I didn't realize people gate-kept stuff like that. And like you're saying, that maybe they don't intentionally mean to. But
I'm sure some people probably do intentionally mean to.
I'm sure.
Like, I just don't understand it. I'm very opposed to gatekeeping because I'm very like, man, I get offended almost when people don't want to accept my recommendations.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I very much so am that way because I want to share like what I like with other people as much as I possibly can, so that other people can talk about it too with me, and we can all just have a great like essentially jerk off session about the specific topic of something. Like, I freaking love that, dude. Oh man, that's probably why I do YouTube videos. It's just so I can do just that.
You can gush about things.
Exactly. And that's why like I always like try to get you guys to do stuff that I really, really like, so I can share them with you and just have a lot of fun.
I guess that's another here's another shameless plug. We have an anime podcast, and it's really fun to do that on the anime podcast. Is like overanalyze shows that we all watch together. Because when Cole first moved here, him, Thane, and I, we would always watch shows together. And then that just died. That was the Titanic and sank. But we're doing it again.
Broke in half and
we're not necessarily watching them together, but we are watching them alongside each other. And then we talk about it every 2 weeks. So go check out Life is Daijobu. The link is in the description.
Anime.
About gatekeeping.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you about that.
I think that I don't think you should technically gatekeep new people from anything, but like if there's someone already deep in the fandom and they're already spouting terrible opinions that no one agrees with, you can kick them out.
That's not gatekeeping. That's just cleansing the waters.
Yeah, like someone says a terrible take about like something like My Hero on TikTok, saying, "Oh, these underage characters, it's disgusting." It's like nobody cares. Nobody cares.
I guess where I've seen, and this is just because I'm briefly part of the community, I guess. I'm a bandwagon community-er when the time arises. But people always complain about Dark Souls, and they're like, it's too hard. We want an easy mode. And like, I don't think I'm necessarily against that, but it's like the game's notoriously hard. I don't think I don't think people should gatekeep it though and say like, I mean, get good or don't play this game. You know what I mean? Like, because I'm with you, Cole. I think everybody's community goal, and FromSoft made this blatantly obvious when they made Elden Ring, and they made it as accessible as possible. I would say.
I'd say treat fandoms more like a bar. You can have anyone come in, but if they start raising ruckus, you can kick them out.
Yeah, but what I'm saying though is like for Dark Souls fans to gatekeep and say, nah, you just suck, like literally discouraging new players to play, that's really bad. That's bad for the community. I think that's bad for any community.
Honestly, you
especially
can't
if you want to
say,
grow.
hey, these games are difficult. If you don't like difficult games, I got some good alternatives.
But why don't we teach them how to play? Granted, there's tons of tutorials out there, so if you're really sucking balls at a Souls-like game, we'll look up tutorials.
We'll help you play, but if you don't like it, there's some good alternatives I could recommend. Like
I want you guys to picture this like thing you like talked about, this gatekeeping concept, times that by like 20, and you have League of Legends, everybody.
Yeah.
Let's go.
See, that League makes me sad because it probably is a game that I would enjoy, but the 1 or 2 matches I did play where it was literally the other players in a nutshell telling me to kill myself because I suck. Why would I play anymore?
Is this in casual matches too?
Oh, of course it is.
At least in Overwatch, you have to actually go to like the ranked matches to get that crap. But in League of Legends, it's everywhere. Really?
I played Overwatch before. I was pretty into it for a little bit there, and you can definitely get that in any mode. Really, you could get that in the freaking casual soccer mode, that Lucio only thing.
Oh my gosh.
Any competitive game that's like essentially based in competitiveness will always have that kind of stuff.
Yeah, wasn't CS:GO notoriously bad for that kind of crap?
Well, it's notorious for the Russians.
I think the worst one was 100% League, without a doubt.
I think that's everybody knows League is douchebags play that game, or you're gonna get freaking yelled at and told to kill yourself if you play League.
See, it's such a weird balance in my opinion, because it's like, in my opinion, just mute them all as soon as you get into the game, or just always have everything on mute. But then you're never going to get better. And it's like sad because like why is it that you have to go through garbage people to get better at a game? Because it's like you'll do better if you communicate with people, but like 9 times out of 10 you're gonna get freaking yelled at if you do one mistake.
And the worst part, they're self-aware about this. They know their community's toxic, and they don't do anything to improve it.
Well, Yakko, one of the YouTubers that we watch, used to make tons of League videos, and he loved playing League, but he made a video talking about why he's done playing League, and he's actually sad about it.
Donkey also used to make a ton of videos, also made a video about I'm done with League of Legends. He was a bit more spiteful. He made a very mean message towards someone, and he's like, and I was banned for being toxic. How is this toxic? It was clearly a toxic message. It was so toxic.
Like for example, the competitive game like we play right now is Apex. We play it pretty regularly. I will play by myself on occasion, just with randos. And like some days I'll just mute every single squad I get in with because I just don't want to hear people talk like at all. I just want to play the game. But we don't do as well. It's just the nature of competitive multiplayer team-based games is if you're not communicating with your team, you're just naturally going to do worse than other people that are. It's a shame because like you do have to deal with garbage sometimes. Like I've heard some terrible horror stories from people on the internet that have just gone through like terrible verbal abuse just to play a video game essentially, and that's not great at all. It's not good at all, but it's like if you want to do good, you kind of have to sit through it sometimes. If you want to get better, you kind of got to sit through it sometimes. They may be telling you to KYS, but there's probably a reason to why they are. You probably did make a mistake, and then you can learn from that. It's not the best method to learn from your mistakes, but I guess you can find some positive in it.
I see what you're going.
Yeah,
I see where you're going.
It's weird.
It's I think it's just a hard thing to. Well, the thing is it shouldn't have to be that way.
Oh, it shouldn't.
Communities of anything should be welcoming to new people and trying to make, specifically, I guess, games, because that's what we're talking about. That's what we're talking about. But trying to make it as easy as possible and as fun as possible for new players to join.
And it's really, really hard with competitive specifically games because something like League, it's heavily weighted on the player's skill. You make one mistake, it's your fault your team lost.
Yeah.
It's not the guy over there that didn't do any mistakes. It's yours because you're the one who made the mistakes. That's why people yell at each other all the time in games like League and why they are so toxic to each other because they don't want to lose. And if they don't have control of being able to win, then I mean, they're not going to be happy. And it makes sense. It kind of breeds toxicity in people in games like that.
At that point, and obviously not everybody's got a full squad they can squad up with, but it's like if you're really that passionate about a game, you should probably try to find people that are like of equal skill level or at least as passionate as you that are trying to get better and play with them. Like find a team. There's tons of people playing your game that you like. Try to meet people on the internet that are like also wanting to try and start up a team. And at least you don't have to deal with new players, and new players don't have to get the freaking shaft. Obviously, that's in a perfect world, and that probably won't happen, but I don't know. It's just sad, because there's lots of things like that I would like to try, but I just know that I'm not going to have fun.
If you want a game where it's toxic out the get-go, and you like being toxic, try Rust. Go on any server, be like, I want to screw someone over today. But make sure you have the skill to back it up.
Yeah, that's it.
There's some games like that where it's just like it's a survival thing and you go to a PvP server and you're just ready to dick someone over. It's pretty much survival games, but like there's just some games like that where like the goal is to be toxic. That's it. But then games like League, Overwatch, Counter-Strike, whatever, you don't really need to be toxic. And I think more people should probably play games where they are toxic and just let their frustrations out. And make hilarious videos if they record it. Like the video where it's like they're playing Rust. It's like, hey, no weapons. It's like, okay, Cam, taking weapons. Like, weapons. Okay, he's like, all right, we'll join. Okay, he can join. And as soon as he joins, he picks up all his weapons back up.
And the reason why they don't though is because it's not competitive. It's just a survival game.
Yeah, exactly.
They don't rank up. They don't get to see the number go higher like Skylar likes with his games.
Oh, I love that. I think there's a fine balance, though. I guess this more so ties into like Dark Souls having an easy mode. A lot of people argue that it would ruin Dark Souls if there was an easy mode. I mean, I can see some aspects of it getting ruined, but I guess where the correlation is, or a parallel I'm going to try and draw here, is with Fortnite. They tried to make it as accessible as possible, because when I started playing Fortnite, it was horrible. I was really bad, and people were really good because they had been playing for so much more longer than I have, and there was no skill-based matchmaking. There was no competitive mode. There was only pubs, so everyone was just getting dunked on by these new players, and it was really rough. Now, Fortnite is like almost to the point to where sometimes you can be doing baby easy mode where it's not even fun anymore. Granted, that's where competitive modes come in, but a lot of the competitive scene has left Fortnite just because of Fortnite's constantly making updates. They're constantly changing the game and the meta. Obviously, a lot of multiplayer games like that, you just have to adapt with it and whatnot. But I don't know. I feel like sometimes doing too much to things and shaking it up too much, sure, it benefits new players, and I'm sure that's where Fortnite obviously makes most of their money, or they wouldn't be catering to new players. But it also is a detriment to the competitive community as well.
On that final note, though, I will say that the argument of having an easy mode in Dark Souls ruins the game is a terrible argument, because don't click easy mode if you don't want it. If you don't want it to be easy, like that's the fix.
Yeah.
Adding an easy mode does literally nothing to most players. Like, it shouldn't affect anybody if they just want to play the game normally.
I think it just detracts from the intended experience that the developers wanted the player to have.
Sure, that's the only argument that I can accept. I disagree with it personally, but that's the only one I'll accept. I don't accept anything that just fans will say. Like, just the whole, like,
the creator even went out. Creator even went out and say he said, "I apologize for the people who can't handle the difficulty."
Yeah,
yeah,
and that's fine.
Like, but this is the way I intended it. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, people can make whatever they want
to make. You literally said
sorry,
not sorry.
People can make whatever they want to make, and that's fine. I'm just saying, like, adding an easy mode won't ruin other people's experience.
There's some, like, smaller indie games that, like, they're known for being notoriously hard, and that's what I intended. It's pretty genius when they do it because it's very meta. But I can understand if people don't like it.
Yeah, maybe you don't have to like it.
Like Hotline Miami, it's intended to be hard because of how it's played.
Say something like Jump King.
Oh yeah.
Obviously, you want that game to be hard,
or that getting over it one.
Yeah,
getting over it.
People aren't going to be playing these games because they want an easy game. They want a challenge.
Yeah.
But the reason why I'm always so adamant about Dark Souls not adding an easy mode is stupid, is because Dark Souls, sure, it's supposed to be a hard game, but that's like a single-player story-based game. Adding an easy mode does literally nothing to other players at all. It doesn't affect any of their circumstances. All you have to do essentially is just make it so you can't invade their world.
I think
it's on easy mode, and then you're done.
I think
that doesn't affect anybody.
I think the hardest thing that it does is, well, I guess difficulty doesn't have to come into it, but PvP, I think.
Then don't do the PvP is not going to be affected by the difficulty sliders though.
That's true, but I think the servers, they would have to make different servers probably.
Just don't have any PvP in easy mode.
Yeah, you can just play offline.
Yeah.
Play on your own console by yourself.
Yeah, I mean,
easy done.
The more I've heard both sides of the argument, I mean, I think I definitely lean towards let the player have whatever experience they want, even if it is quote unquote against the intended experience the developers want you to have. Because, like, sometimes when I play games, I just there for the story. I don't want to freaking rip my nuts off trying to beat it, you know what I mean? Being stuck on specific sections and whatnot. And sometimes I play games where that's what I expect, and I have fun doing it anyway. So yeah. I don't know. I think I'm leaning more towards what you're saying, Cole. Is like just let the player have their intended experience, whether it's what the devs wanted or not. Like, who effing cares if you're selling copies? It probably doesn't matter.
And I understand the whole, like, it can ruin the art form that they're trying to portray. But, like, people that actually care are going to get it the way that the devs intend. You know, I don't see anything wrong with making things accessible to everybody in any way possible. I think it's just asinine to refuse it to customers, to consumers.
Yeah, I mean, it almost is gatekeeping.
It is.
It is. Yeah.
It's developers gatekeeping, essentially. I mean, basically, the comment that Thane summarized, that's essentially a gatekeeping comment. But he can do it. I mean, it's his thing. That's what it comes down to. I honestly don't care that much. I just think it's stupid that other people care that they don't have it, you know?
Yeah.
Like, people just... I think it's stupid that people gatekeep. I guess that's what it comes down to.
No, I'm with you. I think gatekeeping is really dumb. And like I said, with Elden Ring, though, they made this game as accessible as possible. It essentially, there isn't an easy mode, but there is.
I mean, I still wouldn't say accessible as possible because there isn't a difficulty slider. If it was accessible as possible, there'd be a difficulty slider. It's simple as that.
I guess you're right, but
trying to keep it true to their ideal, sure, yeah, that's accessible as to their ideal as possible, but not as accessible as possible.
Well, I guess what I'm saying is there's lots of different. If you're stuck on a section, they give you tons and tons and tons of options to help you get past it. In the other games, it wasn't. It was
you have to earn your easy mode, pretty much.
Yeah, and that's dumb. I don't agree with that. I think if I want to play easy mode, let me freaking play easy mode. I'm not trying to unlock ultra nightmare difficulty. I'm trying to just play a game.
Yeah.
That's my stance on that. I just think it's silly. I don't care about Dark Souls in general as a result, so it doesn't bother me, but I know other people really want to play these games but literally cannot.
Yeah.
I've heard it made way too many times on different podcasts, people on Reddit, all the things. So it's sad. I mean, I get sad when I see it, and I get sad when people say, there should never be an easy mode, because
I mean, it's just gatekeeping, and I think gatekeeping sucks. But I don't know. I mean,
but yeah, at the end of the day, they can do whatever they want.
Sure, yeah,
and that's what's nice about being a developer. You can do
whatever you want. I guess they would have to just, obviously, based upon what you've already said, though, with like other podcasts and people online, like it makes me wonder how many more copies they would sell if they had an easy mode in it.
And it may not be that much money or that much more. It'd probably equate the time that somebody would spend, like the hour to 5 hours of them essentially applying a -3 to every single stat and every single thing in the game. I don't know how long that would take to apply, but I don't imagine it'd be terribly hard. I'm not a game dev, so I don't have the answer,
money
but
they have, like, if it's the budget, like, if
I'm just saying, like what's an average person make an hour? 15-ish bucks.
Yeah.
Someone buys a game for $60, subtract rough estimate.
Oh no, I'm talking about like development costs.
Oh yeah, I'm just saying the time and effort to develop an easy mode. Let's say it takes 5 hours to develop an easy mode. Because I don't know what it is, but I'm just giving a rough estimate. I think it would be roughly minus a certain percentage to every single stat in the game. I think that's how most easy modes are done. I'm not a game dev, so I really shouldn't say any of this because I don't actually know. I'm just kind of like theorizing based on stuff I've seen. And say it's 5 hours. 5 times 15 is what? 75? $75. That's basically the cost of 2 games, and you got your paid to all the people that worked on it, probably the 1 or 2 interns that you had to it. I know I'm just making a pretty poor case for this, but I think the point still stands. Well, I don't think it'd be that hard to implement.
From what I've seen, I guess, and I'm basing this off of my knowledge with Halo 2 specifically, is not every game is made easy that way. Like, you've got obviously the stats that you're talking about, but you've got enemy placement, and you've got how much damage the player does, and you've got weapon placements and item placements, and there's just lots of other things that are involved with it. For example, Halo 2, they really effed up the legendary difficulty. For one, there's no respawning, so if you're playing on two players together, you can't respawn.
Do guns not spawn in the ground in Halo 2? Like, you can't go find the rocket launcher in all different difficulties in the same spot?
I'm not sure.
You don't know.
Yeah, I would assume that Halo, they make it the same as far as like weapon spawns and placements and stuff. Where they effed up was kill time. Like, you just get obliterated. That's
just the statistic, though. That's just that they accidentally did an extra 0 when doing 10.
Yeah, and then they'll have like more enemy spawns. And
that's the one that's different. That's
Yeah.
the one that's not just a statistic you'd change. That's something else you'd have to do.
yeah, you'd have to program it entirely. And as far as how they would do it in Dark Souls, obviously they would change the statistics, but I think that they would have to change enemies as well, enemy placements. They'd have to change health bars.
I don't think you have to do enemy placements. I think if you just change statistics, you'd still get jump scared. You'd still get smashed by a freaking boulder out of nowhere. That's not hard. That's just learning an area.
Yeah.
Hard is when you're fighting something. I think that's
Yeah.
where the statistics come into. And I guess my basis of this is just being the most basic of things is like a Zelda Twilight Princess or HD hero mode where you take double damage and the enemies take an extra hit to kill or something like that. That's just a slider on the that's just the percentages, and that's just the basic of basic difficulty. And like I said, I'm not a game dev. I don't actually know what goes into all this stuff. I'm just assuming that it wouldn't be too terribly hard to do. But obviously at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. The devs do whatever they want to do.
Yeah. But I don't know.
And we still give them money.
I just think I lean more towards just let the player experience the game how they want, and if it's not your
damn it, guys, we went 10 minutes too far. Now the camera's
it's
dead.
like if that's not the dev's intended experience, like, I mean, I don't know. At the end of the day, yeah, they're making games for themselves, but if nobody plays them, they can't make games for themselves anymore, full time anyway. I don't know.
True.
It's true.
'Tis what it is. But
I guess make the game your friends would want to play. I don't know. Something like that. Unless your friends are assholes. Then
I'd just
probably
be
don't
making
make
Dark Souls and freaking MOBAs. That doesn't sound fun for me at all.
Yeah.
the good thing is there's lots of video games out there for you to play. So don't get your what is it? Your
knickers in a
knickers in a bunch.
Knickerbockers, like the basketball team.
Yeah. Don't get your nicks in a twist. Just play other games. You don't need to bitch about one because there's a million you could go play.
Yeah,
And you might
true.
You might be like me and pick up Xenoblade and be addicted to it.
Yay.
You might be like me and play all the God of War games and have the stupid idea of making a long video about it.
Have you started the script already?
Yeah, I write it, but I want to. I'll talk about it later.
Cool. Well, that's the episode, everybody. It went a little bit longer, but thank you guys, as always, for listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or Google or wherever you're listening, or on YouTube. We appreciate you guys. We will be back next week with another episode of the podcast. If you want to subscribe to our Patreon and get a bonus podcast episode where we're raw and unfiltered, you can go subscribe to our Patreon and get that. Otherwise, we appreciate all the support. And as always,
keep it rad.
Meow.